What's up, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Talks Football right here on YouTube. I'm Daniel and we are back with another video. No face cam for this one, so your eyes get a rest. That is because we have a guest on the line, but we'll get on to him in a little second. Before we do get into the video, please make sure to like the video, comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel. Go over and follow the Instagram and the TikTok Daniel Talks Football on both. Right, in this video we're going to be discussing who is going down, and this was a video idea brought to me by the man who is on the line. We are going to go through our predictions for every side from 12th to the bottom, and yeah, predict who we think will end there by the end of the season. Fairly simple concept recently. Simple concept because we've got a simple man on the line. It's Chaz, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Poor result from Forest yesterday, but it was away, so everyone expected it. At Tottenham, so yeah, our chances are getting a bit slimmer to stay up, but
mate, you're gonna be fine. Come on, mate, you're talking to me.
No winning 5 though. That's the only problem. That's what I'm looking at.
We've lost 5 straight.
No, I thought it was 4, wasn't it?
I think it's 5 if you include the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Lost to fucking
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
Was it? Yeah. Yeah, that was poor. That was.
It was, mate. It was. We will touch on Leicester City a little bit later on in the video, but we will start off with the club we have predicted in 12th place. Chaz, who have you predicted in 12th?
Well, it's got to be Wolves, surely. Like, even though they have only scored, is it 20 this year now? They
scored 20 goals. Yes, Chaz.
Yeah, 20 goals. I think they're going to be safe. They've looked all right recently, apart from that loss to Bournemouth. Obviously, they beat Liverpool 3-0 recently, but I think Wolves look really safe. They've got a very good side, though. That's what you have to look at with, like, also with the young players like Collins coming through and stuff like that. It's going to be it will be 12 with, like, even with, like, Ruben Neves in midfield. You can't go down with Ruben Neves, Raul Jimenez, even Adama Traore if he wants to have a bit of a... Oh, yeah, I forgot about Cunha. He scored against us. But, yeah, obviously they have lost that Portuguese striker, Guedes. Is it Guedes? Guedes, yeah. They've lost him, but he wasn't that great for them. But I think they have got a very good side, and they can't go down. And they've got a very good manager as well. So yeah, I can't see them going down.
Yeah, it's the manager for me. Obviously, he's taken them from bottom to 13th. Lopetegui, really good manager, done a lot in his coaching career, and you've seen he was at Sevilla before, if I am correct, and you've seen what's happened with Sevilla ever since he's sort of been sacked. You know, they are still in a relegation battle in La Liga, which is not where a side like Sevilla should be, of course. So I've also gone with Wolves in 12th. If anything, they could look to go higher than 12th. I could see them possibly trying to chase down a team like Villa, although there is 8-point gap there currently, so that could be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wolves, I think they're an excellent side. They'll easily stay up, and yeah, Wolves in 12th is quite an easy one. Next up, 13th. Who do you have in 13th, Charles?
Right, this is going to be an absolute bold statement here, but I'm going to put Everton 13th.
Wow, okay.
So, under Dash, obviously they drew to us, and before us they lost to, but with that win at the weekend against Brentford, was it Brentford they beat?
Who's this?
I think it was
Everton at the weekend?
Yeah, I think it was Brentford.
It was Brentford. 1-0,
1-0, yeah, 1-0, yeah. Dwight, it was a Dwight McNeil, like 50 seconds in. Yeah, I think that...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to really like push them. Dyche is obviously a great manager. He loves a dogfight at the bottom of the league, and he'll just like it'll be like the season before where 5 games left they look like they're going to go down, and then like win 3 in a row or something like that, and then just stay up. So I think Everton are going to be safe and sound in 13th. They've got a very good side. They've got a few ex-Dyche players at Burnley with Tarkowski and McNeil. They've got some very good players, even with Onana, Giuseppe Gay, McNeil. Even like Mupay, if you want to start scoring for him, he's very good. But yeah, they're all a very good side.
Yeah, I like Everton. I do have them a little bit lower down. If anything, now looking at that, thinking I possibly should have put them a little bit higher, because I do think Dyche is actually playing some good football with them. He's not gone 4-4-2 Brexit. He's actually playing some good football.
Yeah.
But I do have Everton a little bit further down, so we'll touch on them in a little bit. But yeah, I think they will stay up. I will ruin that for you. 13th, I've got West Ham. Now, this has a caveat on it, and the caveat is they sacked David Moyes. As everybody knows, after the next game week there is an international break. I think anyway. I heard there was an
international no, there is an international break. Yeah, because we play Wolves after Newcastle. Yeah.
So you sack the manager then. Give Moyes one more game. If he doesn't get 3 points, sack him. You can go out and probably bring in an excellent manager at West Ham. you could easily probably go to Brentford and try and get Thomas Frank. If that doesn't work, somebody like I think Rafa Benitez would be excellent for this West Ham side. To be honest, he knows the league and he's a winner as well as Rafa. So I think somebody like that would suit West Ham quite well. I think they'll finish 13th. They've got a lot of quality in that side. I know it hasn't particularly gelled so far, but people like Scamacca. You know, somebody like Lucas Paqueta was keeping Bruno Guimaraes out of the Brazilian side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a decent side, West Ham.
It is.
They've obviously got Declan Rice and Souček as well,
yeah.
who are like two top midfielders. But yeah, I think it really does come down to David Moyes. Just also, I think maybe even the Conference League's gonna put them down a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
They need maybe obviously they've got that team in Cyprus. They're playing and they're probably going to get next round, so quarters. I think they either go for the Europa League conference title or they just get knocked out and just focus on the Prem. I think that's going to be a massive thing if they have to play another, what is it? So they've got obviously in the round of 16, so another 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
If they get to the final, that's going to be really tough. With is it 12 games left? So they have to play another 18 games in the Premier in this season, which is just crazy to say we're in March and we've only got one more game left in March.
I mean, I think they will go far in the Conference League. If anything, I think that could inspire confidence into the players for the league, though. You know, if the players are going, we're through to the semi-finals in Europe, that could possibly inspire a little bit of confidence, which they are low on. People like Souček has looked a shadow of his former self this season.
Yeah, he's scoring 14 in 1 year and then it's just nothing this year.
He's not been like it this year. Same with people like Koufal as well. I think West Ham will be fine. You do need to pick it up though, but I think it's from 12th to the bottom at the moment, that's 5 points.
Yeah, I also think their summer transfers and their winter transfers they haven't picked up whatsoever. Cornet, Scamacca, yeah, they just even Areola hasn't had a great season.
He hasn't played, has he?
No, he's kind of played, hasn't he?
Not in Prem, I don't think. Is he been their Conference League keeper?
No, he's been playing in Prem. He has been playing in Prem.
Has he?
Yeah.
Must have missed that.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but I just don't see it.
Is that one of those teams that you just don't see going down?
To be fair, Areola's played 5 games so far this year in the Prem.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been split between the two of them. Yeah, I think West Ham. It's the thing. No team's too good to go down. I do think West Ham might be too good to go down though. So I think they will be safe. And I've put West Ham in 13th. Who do you have in 14th place?
It's going to be a tough one, but I've gone for us. I've gone for Forest.
Okay.
I think at the moment, obviously we haven't won in 5, but we have got a massive injury list, a humongous injury list, and as much as I liked some of our January transfers, they weren't great. But once we get the players like Awoniyi back in the squad, we need centre halves in the squad.
Yeah.
Like obviously Willy Bolly, Niakate, Kiate, all coming back. It will be. I think these last 12 games will literally push for like points in every single game. And also our home form is spectacular. We've got Southampton at home. We've got Wolves at home. So yeah, I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be decent and 14th. I think we'll push for that 40 points. Obviously we're 26th and 26th at the moment, but I feel like we will be fine after all these injuries kind of fizzle out.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I see that fully. I don't have you in 14th. I've got you a little bit further down. Not far, I will be honest with you. In 14th, I actually have Crystal Palace. I know they've been struggling as of late, and I do understand that. However, the reason I put them 14th is because I do think they will be fine. Their last 5 games have been City, Villa, Liverpool, Brentford, Palace, and then before that they had United. Palace. I said Palace. Oh my God. City, Villa, Liverpool, Brentford, Brighton, United, Newcastle United. That is a tough run of fixtures.
Yeah, they've also got they have Brighton again and Arsenal soon. Yeah,
Brighton again midweek.
Brighton midweek. That'll be a good game to be fair to watch.
And then they've got Arsenal next weekend. Then after that, they come back for the international break with Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, Everton, Wolves. West Ham.
Yeah,
So
they've got some very, very like relegation sides.
if they win sort of 3 of them, they will be fine. I think Palace will be fine. Vieira is a good manager. I know there's a couple of Palace fans starting to turn because his decisions haven't been excellent recently. I think he's a good manager. I think he'll keep them up, and I think they will be just fine. So I have put Palace in 14th. Moving on to 15th. Who do you have in 15th, Joss?
I'm going to go here. It's going to be a very bold statement, but I'm going to go Bournemouth.
Wow.
I know we said Bournemouth bottom, but I've just looked. The thing is with Bournemouth is they're just picking up points. Obviously, they beat Liverpool yesterday. Mm-hmm. They beat Wolves a few weeks ago. They're one of these teams that everyone's like, oh yeah, they're going to go down. That Huddersfield a few years ago, everyone was like, oh yeah, they're guaranteed to go down. And I just think they'll get some brilliant wins at the end of the season, and they'll get 15th. Obviously, they still have to play you. They still have to play Southampton, Leeds, Villa. I think Villa's next. They're still. I think the Vitality is quite a hard place to go and win if you're not City or Arsenal. So yeah, obviously we saw them go 2-0 up against Arsenal as well last week, mm-hmm. which was very unlucky that they lost that game because it was a Reece Nelson screamer that won it. But I think they will do really well. I think they'll do what people don't expect them to do, and they'll come 15th.
Well, if they do come 15th, that will certainly be unexpected for me because I haven't put Bournemouth 15th. They are quite a bit down the table. I've put Forest. I think you'll be just fine. I understand that things under Cooper recently haven't been truly excellent. However, you have had some tough fixtures recently. You've had City, you've had Spurs. I think coming back off the international break, Wolves, Leeds, Villa, if you could sort of pick up maybe 6 points from that.
Yeah.
If you get 5 or 6 points from that, I think you would set yourselves up really well. You do then have United and Liverpool, which is obviously 2 tough games. But we've seen this season, at home, Forest can do anything. You've already beaten Liverpool at home. I know away games.
Stamford, yeah.
I know away games are difficult for Forest. You don't seem to be picking up points away, and that will probably continue till the end of the season. But at home, you've made the City ground an absolute fortress.
Oh yeah, it's been brilliant. To be fair, I haven't lost at home since Aston Villa back in September. Mm-hmm. So it's just brilliant. But I just want to say something about Bournemouth is they pick up points against teams they need to pick up points against. Like you look at that, like they've lost to City, but they beat Wolves who are down there. Obviously, they beat Everton early on in the season 3-0. They probably should have beat Leeds when they lost 4-3. I think Bournemouth are a team that will just pick up points when they need to, and then against the big sides like your Spurs, that they've still got. I know Spurs aren't brilliant at the moment, and Chelsea, I think they'll lose them. And Man United, I think they'll lose them. But I think Bournemouth are actually a really good side. But I think another thing that you have to think about in this is Forest run of fixtures towards the end of the season. I've just thought of that, and it's going to be really tough for us at the end because we've got a few really tough sides away, like Chelsea, as you said, Liverpool. Just really hard teams to play, but yeah, it's a really tough one to choose. I think the relegation battle.
It is, and that's why you suggested it as a video.
Yeah.
Moving on into 16th now we are. Who do you have in 16th, Charles?
I've gone for West Ham.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
I think everything you said, I think if they don't get rid of Moyes, I think they'll come 16th. If they do, and they don't find a manager, they have, 3 or 4 games with a caretaker manager. If they don't do well, I think they'll really be in danger. So I've gone for 16th. I think it's just a baseline of like you know, do you know what I mean? Like, and they need to sack Moyes in my opinion because he just doesn't play the football they need to, but they're just too good to go down. Like you said, like with Rice, one of the best England midfielders in our generation. It's just because I'm not talking about like your Gerrards, your Lampards, because they weren't really our generation. But yeah, it's I think it's a really tough one to predict West Ham. It's one of the toughest because one week they could go out and beat us 4-0, and the other week they could lose 4-0 to Brighton, and then one week they could even beat someone like Liverpool or Man United on their day. So it's a really tough one to choose, West Ham.
Yeah, fair enough. Fully off topic. I've just realised that I've titled this video "Who's Going On," so I need to change that before I post it because it's not about who's going on. Well, 16th. I put Everton.
Oh.
Now, I would possibly debate swapping Forest and Everton. However, I do think that Forest's home ground and the fortress that the City ground is will just help them get it over the line. Yeah, I think Everton 16th. Reason I've said that, Dyche has really transformed the side. Dyche is actually getting them playing some quite good football. People like Pickford signing a new deal. Granted, I do think him saying that he wants to be there for ages. I don't quite know how much I believe.
No, it's just. I think personally, I think it's just for. It's got a survival clause. It's got a relegation clause. It's going to be one of these, isn't it? Where it's just. He just wants to go.
Clauses in there if they go down and if they stay up, but it'll be one of them. They do have a defenders. Obviously, they've got plenty of centre backs, plenty of good quality centre backs as well. People like Cody, Tarkowski, Godfrey. Yeah, that's probably about it.
We're not saying Michael Keane's good.
Keane and Holgate aren't really there.
I'd say Yerry Mina's decent.
He's always injured though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Onana in the midfield, really, really good.
Yeah. He's definitely going to go to a bigger club, in my opinion. He has to.
I think probably give it. I don't think he will this summer. I think next summer he will. If he goes this summer, I feel like it'd be a little bit strange. And then somebody like Idrissa Gana Gueye has also been really, really good for this Everton side. I was scared about them scoring goals when Dyche first came in. That doesn't seem to have been proven correct. And he seems to have managed to amend his relationship with Dwight McNeil, which is clearly a good idea after his interview he gave. So, yes, I think Everton 16th.
I think the only problem that I have with Everton is, I know I put them quite high, but they don't have, obviously DCL's always injured, and I don't think Dyche really likes him. And obviously Mupé has to hit the ground running with Dyche, and he hasn't done so far. So it's going to be a really tough one to score them goals. I know, you've just touched on it, the goal scoring, but I think they might, if they don't score for 1 or 2 games, they might capitulate and they might drop down a bit more. But who knows? It's just really, really hard to predict with these sides.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think. Yeah, I can't really disagree with that.
And apart from DCL, is he injured again?
I don't know. What I did see, which you might enjoy, is Dyche has told the media that DCL is giving Dyche fashion advice.
Oh, bloody hell. That's not going to go well, is it?
So we will move on from there. And I'll talk
Dyche turning up in a dress.
Oh, imagine.
Him and Tom Davis.
We'll talk about that one after recording, I think, Chaz. Moving on into 17th. Who do you have in 17th, Chaz?
So, it's a massive toss-up between you lot, Leicester, and Southampton. Mm-hmm. So, the problem with you I have is, you just can't score. It's just one of them, you do score. If you do score, you lose about 4-1, 4-2. Yeah. And then, when you don't score, you just get thrashed. Obviously, you didn't get thrashed by Southampton, but it was one of those games that was just so boring to watch. It was just, it had 0-0 written all over it, and someone might have got a lucky goal. But the problem with Leicester I've got at the moment is the board. The board are awful. I know you say it a lot. I know Everton's board aren't great, but I think Leicester's one of those boards that do go under the radar a lot. And they're quite good just because you won the league 5 or 6 years ago. And It's actually really shit. I think your board just don't have any idea what to do. Right.
I think there's a lot to say about our board. Now, I don't want to turn this into a full Leicester video because I easily could.
Yeah.
I don't think you did. I don't think you ended up giving me a team there, did you?
I'm gonna say you lot. I think you're too good to go down. You're one of these.
Think we'll finish 17th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With the players such as Tielemans, who is a great midfielder on his day. Even with that, is it Farsi? I know he scored 2 own goals, but he's a really good centre half. Even Harry Souters came into the side and has been quite good. Mm-hmm. You've obviously got Tete, the Brazilian lad. You've just got Harvey Barnes, Patterson Daka. Did he score?
Daka did score. Daka scored a great goal. Right.
Yeah, he scored a screamer against Chelsea, didn't he?
There's issues with us. First of all, the board you've mentioned. The board's such a tough one. We love the board. Can I just say this? There's not going to be anybody saying, top out. We all love the board because of what they've done for this club. They immediately came into the club, wrote off 100 million of debts to keep us afloat. Earlier on this year, they Top wrote off, I think it was 198 million pounds that the club owed him. It was just don't worry about it. Wrote it off into equity, or into shares, whatever it was. So
Forest have done that recently.
The board are great people. but their footballing decisions can be put under question, and I think that's fair. Not sacking.
I think they're not cutthroat enough. Football's a very cutthroat business to get into, and they're just not cutthroat with Brendan Rodgers. You should have sacked him right at the start of the season when you were losing 6-2, and then they got a good win against us, and then you're like, oh, he's a great manager again. Do you know what I mean? That's what the board probably thought.
I mean, I've been Rodgers out since
good part of 18 months, I think.
Since Napoli 2021, I want to say. The second Napoli game when we lost, was it 3-2?
I can't remember. I think
Bertrand took an absolute Haaland. We may drew 2-2 or we lost.
Yeah, is Ryan Bertrand still on your books?
Yep.
Oh my God, is Vestergaard still on your books?
Yep.
Oh Jesus Christ! You've got no hope.
Chaz, I feel like at some point we just need to sit down now for just laughing at Leicester City and Nottingham Forest.
Oh yeah, I can't say much. You've got Lingard on 100 odd grand a week, so
exactly. But no, I love our board, but they're not cutthroat enough. Top is a young guy. He's lost a lot of money since COVID, and I know that's affected him a lot.
Yeah,
but
obviously their business of strain of business. Yeah,
scoring goals has also been a massive issue for us, and I fully understand that. We've not been scoring enough goals, and that's why I haven't put us 17th. I've put Leeds 17th.
You say Leeds to I don't think they will.
So why do I think Leeds will go down? I just think they're the best out of a bad bunch. I'm not convinced by Leicester, as we'll get onto in a second when I go on a Leicester run. I'm not convinced by Southampton. I'm not convinced by Bournemouth. Bournemouth do not have a manager. Southampton do not have a manager. Yeah,
but Ruben Sellers has done a great job beating you lot. He drew to United today. I know they had 10 members.
Oh yeah, it was a great job beating us.
Yeah, easy.
League, mate, we had to go to penalties with... Who was it? Was it...
Stockport.
We went to penalties with Stockport.
Yeah, you lost to Blackburn. But you're focusing on the league. Just say you're focusing on the league. That's what we did when we got thrashed.
We're not. We're just not. So Leeds... I need to stop talking about Leicester because we'll talk about them in a second. And at that point, you guys are going to hear some stuff. Javi Gracia, he's an okay manager. They've got some good players. I don't think Leeds will go down. They've just got some good players in there. I think they'll be fine. I think, Willy Gnonto, I think he'll come through and score some more.
I think he's a brilliant player, Willy Gnonto.
I think he's a baller.
I think he's got attitude problems, but apart from that, I think he's brilliant.
Their midfield is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Rocker, Aronson, Adams, McKennie. They've got some good options.
Yeah, it's decent, but I just don't... Obviously, Adams has been playing well, but apart from that, McKennie has not been brilliant.
No, I think...
Rocker's been meh. And Ederson just doesn't play most games.
I think they'll be fine.
Is Rodrigo still injured for them?
I don't know.
Because Paddy Bamford's not brilliant. No, obviously not born and bred.
Yeah. So fair enough, but I do think Leeds will go down. And you've said Leicester 17th. Now, Chaz, I'm going to ask you who you're going to put in 18th, but I feel like we're going to spend more time talking about who I've got in 18th. But who do you have in 18th?
I have Southampton in 18th. Okay. I think it's going to be a massive toss-up at the end of the season between West Ham, Leicester and Southampton into that 18th spot. But, yeah. So, I think Southampton have just got... They'll just do it. I think a bit like Leicester did it back in like the 2014 or 15 season, whenever it was. I think they'll get some really good wins at the end of the season. Do you know what? I'm going to even go as far to say they'll beat us at home. Okay. I think James Ward-Prowse... This is why, I don't know, it's either James Ward-Prowse scores a load of free kicks or they go down, in my opinion. That's how it is. It's going to be very strange. I think Southampton are a very strange side. I don't know if you agree with me, but they are a very weird side. Like, obviously they could get thrashed 9-0 one week, and then they could beat like Man United. Man City like 2-0 one week. It's like, what the hell is going on? But I think Southampton will just go down. I don't think they've got it in them. Obviously, they've got some good players with James Ward-Prowse, Bella Kocher. Who scored against? Was it Alvarez who scored against you?
Yeah, the new guy. I think his name's Alvarez.
Yeah, but the only thing that Southampton is they did get rid of Nathan Jones, who wasn't the best. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, Carlos Alcaraz. Sorry, Alcaraz.
Alcaraz, yeah. So I just can't see them staying up though. I know I've just said they might get some wins, but they don't have the players to do it. They've got some crappy players. I can't lie. they've got. Like, I was watching them today against Man United, and you just look at them. They've got a very young side, but I think it's one of those sides. If they go down, I think they will come straight back up.
Yeah, I mean, I also look at Southampton. If they go down, that is such a good side to pick off. They have so many excellent. Kyle Walker-Peters, Coletta Carr. I know he hasn't.
When you said Carl Walker, I thought you were going to say Theo Walcott. Then I was about to say
Kyle Walker-Peters, Coletta Carr, Livramento, Salisu, Bella Kotchap, Aribo, Ward-Prowse, of course. Sudamena, I think, is a really good
I don't
player.
think Aribo's been brilliant this year. That's the only problem.
I don't think he has been brilliant this year, but he will still leave. Lavia obviously will go. Or no, actually will probably...
Even Bazuna might go. He's not been brilliant.
But Bazunu would stay with them and go to the Champions.
Would you even go as far as say like Edozie will go as well?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, Shea Adams as well up top. He can score goals.
Yeah.
Stuart Armstrong. Do they still have Stuart Armstrong? He's quite good.
Let's be honest. Shea Adams, he's got Everton written all over him, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he is an Everton sort of player. He's an Everton or Leicester kind of player. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them.
He's Mulpie 2.0. He just is.
He screams. He screams Brentford, Everton, or Leicester in my. But he's one of those players.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's like Keane Lewis Potter. He screamed Brentford like last year.
He did.
He did. He reeked of it.
He did. We'll talk about Southampton for me in a second. Well, probably a bit more than that. Because an 18th, Chelsea, can you guess who I have an 18th?
Leicester.
I do. Right. Why are we going to get relegated? How long do you have? The manager, Brendan Rodgers, is not a good enough manager. People are saying he doesn't have a good enough squad to work with. Have you seen the squad he has? He's made this group of players worse. Wilfred Ndidi was linked with Manchester United for 2, 3, 4 transfer windows straight in a 60, 70 million pound move to be their new DM.
Even Tielemans, he was linked with like Arsenal and stuff for like 40 million quid. You've even got people like Soyuncu, he was in the...
Soyuncu's moving to Atletico Madrid. He's playing Champions League football next year.
Yeah, exactly.
In our side, who's going to get relegated. Brendan Rodgers, you don't make sense.
I know he's had a few injury problems, but even like Pereira, he was a brilliant player for you back in the day. But I think those injuries have really called up.
Ricardo just can't stay fit. I've said one of two things are going to happen. We have West Ham on the final day. Either we're going to lose 4-0 and get relegated, or we're going to win 2-1 and Ricardo will pick up another ACL injury. One of those two things will happen. Because that man cannot stay fit. It's one of a million problems in this group at the moment. Daniel Amarty's still playing football in the Premier League, and I don't know how.
He was awful. Yeah, that goal against us last year when you lost 4-1. No way. How is he still playing? How is he still playing football in the top 4 divisions? That's what I don't understand.
It's such a good mate. Send him off to County. Send him off to Wrexham. They'll pay his wages. I mean, you know, Danny Ward isn't a good enough goalkeeper. Danny Ward has never been a good enough goalkeeper. Why did go out and buy Lafont in the summer for 20 million? Why are you sticking with Ward? These decisions over and over and over again, they do not make sense.
You do have Alex Smithies.
Mate, he's awful. Where did he come from? I can't remember where he came from. The decisions in the hierarchy over and over and over again, they do not.
Ben
make
Foster's
sense.
a free agent.
And he wants to play in the Midlands. So why haven't we gone for that?
I know. Yeah, to be fair, even if you did get Ben Foster and he didn't play, it would be a massive morale boost for you as well. The decisions from the
hierarchy this season over and over and over again do not make sense. I understand if fans wanted to back Rodgers after the summer because they said he didn't get investment. I get that. Because he had been asking for investment for ages, the club promised it him and he didn't get it. The squad did need a refresh, and I fully understand that. First of all, I do think the squad partly needed a refresh because of his poor management of the squad, but that's beside the point. He had been given that squad and it wasn't a great squad. So yes, I understand that he said he wanted investment and he didn't get that. But the way he acted afterwards was appalling, constantly saying that he wanted them. He said he wanted new transfers once the transfer window was ended. I don't know if you know how football works, Rodgers, but that won't happen.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then in January, he goes and he says, I want transfers. He got the 3 players he asked for. All January, he said, I want Christensen, I want Tete, I want Sutar. They were 3 players that we brought to the football club.
Yeah.
Tete's not shown anything since his first game. And to be honest, looks like a shadow of the player he was when he first came in.
Yeah.
Christensen's out for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And Sutar and Fars have not built up a partnership at all. Yes, they're constantly making excellent challenges. That's because they don't communicate with one another.
Yeah.
It does not make sense. Everything in this side from top to bottom is going wrong. Vardy's MLS club has just had to be shut down, which I was really hoping wouldn't happen because he could have gone and played there next season, because he hasn't done anything for us all season. He's scored a couple of tap-ins, couple in the League Cup versus a
Did he score 2 against Watford or something? No, Wolves, my bad.
He scored 1 against Wolves, I think.
Yeah.
It was just a little tap-in.
Yeah. I think... Can I just say something about, like, all, you know, like, going back onto pro and all unfit? Do you think Rodgers has... I know, like, this is coming from a bit of a football manager point of view here, but do you think Rodgers has the power to, like, sack and hire staff? Because maybe your fitness coach, maybe his staff problems with, like...
What has happened with the club now? This is going to get very Leicester technical, so if you don't want to listen to all this Leicester technical stuff, please do skip on. But we had a club doctor. I can't remember his name now, and I'm really I won't be listening. If that guy's listening, I really do apologise because you were excellent. This is the guy we had in the title-winning campaign. I don't even remember that.
I know you got a new physio, didn't you?
And I'm going to get onto that. But the doctor we had in the title-winning campaign, do you remember we didn't get injuries?
Yeah, you didn't have injuries until about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when you got the new physio
when we sacked our old guy, and you know Rodgers came in and brought in a new club doctor or physio or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Since that, our injury list has been appalling. We haven't had a fully fit squad.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I genuinely don't think Rodgers has ever worked with a fully fit squad.
Even at the start of the season, you'll have like some injured from the season before in pre-season.
Basically, one of Ricardo or James Justin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, James Justin, he was one of the top. He was like, he's going to be the next England fullback. He's now 24, and he hasn't played like a single game. He's played about 10 games in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been injured since that final League Cup game before the World Cup. He got injured in that, and will be out for a long time. Castagna, our fullback injuries are awful. Christensen's just got one for 4 weeks. The injuries throughout the whole squad are awful. And I mean, James Maddison is having routine injections on his knee to keep him playing.
Yeah, he's carrying you, isn't he, James Maddison?
If this bloke wants to leave this summer, I don't know how he passes a medical anyway, because his knee must be an absolute tatters.
Oh, yeah, I know, it would be. Well, I think, personally with Leicester, I think you did try something new at the weekend. Obviously it didn't work.
The back system.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Which, can I just say, every single fan, I talked to a lot of Leicester fans, every single fan looked at that and went, we're going to lose today.
I think the only positive you have at Leicester is... Kieran Dewsbury, I think he's a great player. And he's young, and
24-ish.
Yeah, and that you're quite a big club and you have a big fan base. I think they're the only 2 positives at Leicester at the moment. Everything else is going down the drain.
Kiernan's a positive because he cares about the club. Bar that, I wouldn't even put him down as that big a positive. Maddison is a big positive, but we're going to lose him in the summer.
Yeah.
And mate, talking about the fans like that, I'm sorry, but just no. Our fan base is absolutely appalling. I
know your atmosphere at home is dead, but you get a full house every week. Some sides can't say that. Like Man City.
We get a full house every week, mate. I think about 20,000 people turned up to Blackburn.
No, that's the FA Cup, innit? No one cares about FA Cup.
I know that.
But I think another thing is with Leicester is you just can't keep any consistency whatsoever.
We can't. We've lost. Well, the only consistent thing we do is lose.
Yeah, exactly.
We get into one of these patches of losses and we find it really hard to dig ourselves out. 5 losses on the bounce now. Last time we've dug ourselves out, we've been through 3 bad patches this year and 2 good patches. One of those good patches I'm talking about is where we won 2 games.
Yeah, I think if James Maddison's knee packs up, you're done for the season. If he 2-3 games, if he's injured for the rest of the season, you're out. You've got no other source of goals.
No.
You've literally got no other source of goals.
We've got 3 strikers. Ian Atcham is 3 sitters versus Southampton a few weeks.
Oh yeah, that was quite funny to be fair.
We are an absolute mess. Top, you're not listening. If you are, wake up, make some decisions. Fans started to back you again in January, and I see why you're a nice guy and writing off those debts that the club owed you more or less is that's 200 million. He's just gone. Don't worry about it. That is, you know, Charles, if you owe me £1, I'm banging on to you about it. Never mind 200 million. Fair play, Top. But please act now. Sack Rodgers. Bring in somebody new with fresh ideas who wants to be at the club. Because I'm not one of the conspiracy theorists. But that side that Brendan Rodgers put out at the weekend.
Yeah.
If he was trying to get himself sacked, I wouldn't blame him. The whole board was there at the weekend. Act now. Moving on into 19th after... I could probably make that into a video itself, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be very good.
Who do you have in 19th?
I have Crystal Palace.
Okay, wow. Talk to me about that then.
They're just crap. Haven't had a shot on target in 3 games, which is a record, I think.
Possibly.
Three. I think I saw it since we recorded in 2002. So that's just poor in 3 games, 270 minutes of football. Plus, that is just awful. Obviously, we have touched on there. I've got some really easy fixtures to come up, but I don't see them picking up any points. I really can't. Obviously, they did play City last night, but apart from that, they played Villa, who Villa can be very ropey at times. But I think they just don't have it in them. I think 19th is fair. I think they will maybe pick up 6-7 points till the end of the season. That's all I can see them doing. Have they not won in something like 12 games or something? I think it's something stupid. Yeah, it's just at the start of the season I was like, oh, Palace are going to be sound because I think Vieira's a decent manager, but at the moment, even with players like Eze, Aliusi, Schlupp, they're all great players. They're all Premier League players, and they're just not doing anything. They just can't. They just can't seem to score. They can't seem to get shots on target. The defense is okay. Like they've got Anderson, who's a decent defender in my opinion. Is it Gaia? Gaia, yeah. Mark Gaia, yeah. He's a Guaya, yeah. Sorry, my bad. He's a decent defender, young. Tyreek Mitchell's a bit ropey at times, and they were playing Klein yesterday, and Klein is just well past it. But I just can't see them staying up with the way they're playing at the moment. But they could always turn it around.
Yeah. Oh, that's a convincing argument. I think Palace will stay up. I think people like Eze, Elise, there's a lot of talent within that Palace side, and they've got some good players. Vieira is a good manager, even if things aren't working. You know, I've sort of already said this video, and I do realise this was supposed to be a video, and we're already 38 minutes in, which is mental. You said to me before, and you thought we were doing a podcast, and I can see why now. But yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I've gone for Southampton in 19th. We probably should speed this up a little bit. I've gone for Southampton 19th. I just don't think they're good enough.
Yeah.
I look at the players on their side, and it's too inexperienced. We all saw what those new Southampton owners were trying to do this summer when they brought in this new load of youth. And look, it was a good idea because there's a lot of good players in there. They've just done it a little bit too quickly. It's like when you start a new FM save and you just pick out all the oldies that don't matter. Because, you know, they're not going to grow for you, they're not worth anything, and you bring in a load of new wonder kids. That's what Southampton have done, and they've just done it a little bit too quickly for real life football. I think they will go down. I think it's a shame because a lot of these young players which they've brought in, which if they stayed up they could sell for a lot more, they're going to have to sell them, you know, not make much money on them, which will hurt Southampton as a club. But they will be absolutely fine going down to the Championship. Hopefully they'll be able to keep on to a couple, do what I think was it Norwich did when they first went down. Went, alright, if we stay down for another year, all sign new contracts for us. If we all stay down for another year, you can have a 10 million release clause in there and you can pretty much go to any side you want.
Yeah.
I think that's what Southampton will end up doing, and I think they will be fine, but I do think they will go down. And then last but not least, in 20th place, who do you have in 20th place, Jazz?
Leeds Scum. I just think... So, at the start of the season, I thought they were going to be safe and sound, because I heard on the podcast with Ben Foster, they said if you score goals, you'll stay up, you'll be safe. But apart from that 2-2 against Brighton yesterday, they haven't been scoring recently. And I think it's down to Rodrigo not being in the side. I think he's still injured. Patrick Bamford just can't hit a barn door. Players like that, Willie Gnonto has to step up a bit more. I know he's only young, and it's a bit too much to ask, but I just think Leeds will go rock bottom. I think, as you said, they were the best of a bad bunch, but I don't think they're that good. I think they're awful. I think that, like, we played them, they missed so many big chances, and if those chances were converted, I think we would have lost to Leeds. But it's just one of those sides that I just can't see staying up now. I think Bielsa wasn't a great manager last year, and I think the signing of Marsh was just not brilliant. They've won one in the past few games, and that was against Southampton. I think that was with their new manager, Sells, but I just can't see them doing much now. I can't. They've got Wolves, Arsenal, and then they've got Palace, Liverpool soon. I just can't see them doing well at all. I really can't. They've got some big games like Tottenham, City still to play, Newcastle, and they've got some massive games with like Leeds, West Ham and stuff like that, and I just can't see them picking up the points. So
Fair
the
enough.
only thing I can see them maybe surviving is what it's like at City Ground. Is it's so loud, but they just can't pick up the points at Ellen Road. It's a great atmosphere, but they just can't pick up the points there.
I think they'll be fine. I agree with your appointment on Marsh. They tried to go into that
Yeah.
Red Bull sort of approach, and that is a good approach if you can pull it off.
I think the only problem with Leeds is though that most of their players are Marsh's players. You know what I mean? Like that whole midfield is literally Marsh's
It's a
midfield.
Marsh midfield, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Bunch of Yanks.
they tried to go into that Jesse Marsh Red Bull approach, and it just didn't come off.
Nah, it didn't one
They
bit.
abandoned it too quickly for that kind of
Yeah.
to work. So, yeah, it hasn't worked out. I did like Jesse Marsh as a coach when he was at Salzburg. I watched a lot of Salzburg that season. His last season there, I think, before he then moved to Leipzig, because I was watching Patson Daka before he moved to us. But yeah, it hasn't worked for Jesse Marsh
No.
at Leeds, sorry. And Javi Gracia, I'm not overly inspired by the appointment, however, I do think Leeds will stay up. Bottom, I've put Bournemouth. I'm sorry, but they've got a PE teacher as their manager. He couldn't manage, I'm not going to dox the school we were at, but let's just say the older of the two PE teachers would probably do a better job with this Bournemouth side.
What are you trying to say? He couldn't run a piss up in a pub.
Moving on. Basically, I'm saying their manager's awful, and I think Bournemouth will go down. They've got a bad manager. They did try in January, and I like that. Signings like Zarbani, I think he's a really, really good player. However, I just don't think Bournemouth will survive, and I think they will finish bottom of the table. Thank you for coming on, Chaz. It's been a very, very long video, kind of podcast. However, I do hope everyone at home has enjoyed it. If they have, make sure to slap that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also comment down below. And I'll catch you all again in the next video. See ya!